Hi, I'm Angie Beto, and thanks for joining us as we wrap up our Town Square Buzz Town Talk segment. And with us again is Steve Bell. He's going to share a little bit of his plans for what he thinks the city could do to improve over the next 5 to 10 years if you're elected. Mr. Bell, one question that comes to my mind is, how do you feel about the allotment of public city money to go toward private enterprise development? So last time we talked a little bit about economic development, right? And how important that is to the future of our city. So how do you feel about spending some of our city money to encourage private enterprise development as we move forward?
Well, I would kind of like to flip that on you just a little bit, because I think that we need to do some public-private type of investment.
Okay.
There are programs that we need to have here in our city for our citizenry, and we need to get private involvement in those so that we can afford to do that.
Okay.
And that we run them efficiently. A good example is Ocala Golf Course. That golf course was in the red for years and years and years. And in 2000, we started looking at that and saying, well, how can we improve it? And one of the ways that we improved it and totally turned that around is we brought in outside management, professional people that know how to manage that type of business and pull that away from the city to do. And consequently, it's turned out to be one of the greater public courses. It's a profitable public course now, and we've added some amenities there that we were not able to do under our own city management in running it. Then you have the other, which I have been an advocate for since we approved the Impact Center downtown. It needs private management. It needs to be in one of those public-private venues so that we can bring people in that are accustomed to running entertainment centers, that know what they're doing and how to get the best bang for our dollars to make that a profitable deal. I love that little place down there, but quite frankly, it's been a drain on us because we haven't known exactly how to manage it. When we go into parks and that type of thing, that was one of the reasons I was so strongly in favor of Lamar Hunt's proposal to bring the Pizza Hut Park at 121 in Alva, because our schools could use it.
Right.
We could use it for all types of venues, for concerts and that type of thing. And in that, they were going to allow the city X number of days and nights and that type of thing to be able to do it. It's no different than, for instance, the track facility they were just talking about the other day. I haven't seen all the studies of that, but I know that it was turned down because they didn't think it was feasibly possible.
About the
out at Michael Johnson's,
out there
by the track, that we could use the soccer fields where they originally wanted to. I haven't gone through all those numbers to see why we didn't think that it would work, but that's another one of those opportunities that we have there. We can build a lot of public venues with private money if we'll go out and work it properly, and to give that private management entity or that owner the ability to operate it and turn a profit out of it, because all it does is create additional tax revenue for us and property tax incentive.
Right.
And so we need to aggressively be looking at those types of programs. Now, I think where you were asking me is that should we take our MEDC money or CDC money and help go out and attract? Absolutely. We need to use it. We need to analyze though the type of business that we want to bring, and we need to go out and actively pursue that business, because we want to bring businesses in that improve what we're doing here. Will it bring additional people in? Are there hotel nights associated with that? Are we going to be feeding more people? They're going to be looking for more restaurants and so forth. And then we need to be able to provide them with the right type of tax incentive that makes sense, to get them to want to build their business here.
So that being said, how do you feel about the convention center plan that would be in the Gateway location? Are you in favor of building a separate convention center, or do you prefer a hotel that might come in there with a conference center?
Well, I mean, convention center, conference center. I mean, it's a thin line that you can draw, because is it? Are you calling it one thing or the other based upon size, or do you think we ought to have just a convention center for the city of McKinney?
Well, let me clarify that. I was thinking if we have a hotel/conference center, that's something the hotel would manage,
right?
Take care of. The city would not be involved with management of that on a daily basis. The hotel would be responsible for filling it with events. If we have a convention center, we often would be tasked with having to manage that or supply outside management for that. So I'm just looking at it from a perspective of if a hotel comes in and it's a private sector.
Yeah, I think city management ought to focus on city business.
Okay.
And the utilities and services and emergency responders and that type of thing that we need to offer our citizens. I don't think that we need to be operating entertainment venues, such as Impact or a convention center. Right now maybe at a future date when we have more money we know what to do with, then you go out and you build this big convention center and attract people from all over the world. But today I think we ought to use these investors' money who already have the hotels, because a hotel, you got to have a hotel to have a convention center or to have a conference center. And I've been in some conference centers that put convention centers to shame, from just their sheer size, And I think that goes hand in hand. But then why can't we have two? Why can't we have three? Why can't we have one at Gateway? Why can't we have one at downtown on the square? Why can't we have one off at Craig Ranch on 121? I mean, if we're doing the right type of job and these guys are willing to come in and invest their millions of dollars in our community to build a hotel, and as you know, we don't have the number of hotel rooms that we need today. Where are they going? We're making some headway, with the Holiday Inn and some of the others and the new one over on 121, but if you want to stay somewhere a little nice, you either got to go to Richardson or you got to go to Frisco. Well, we have an opportunity with the Gateway and the conference center, or at the downtown, or at Craig Ranch, to be able to have these people bring in that and bring that product in here, and that in itself will attract. Now, what's the benefit? It's nothing but upside for us, because all those people have to eat somewhere.
Yes.
They're going to go downtown and shop. They're going to go to these other venues and shop. One of the things that I dreaded when I was on council was when we found out that the county courthouse was going to move. And the reason for that is all the employees that were there, all the people that we bought into the jury pools, they spent every Monday and Tuesday, and all the employees, for their lunches, eating and shopping in the square.
Yes.
And that really scared me for those owners down there that had been in those shops for so long, that all of a sudden you have 2,000 or 3,000 people that are coming in there. When's the last time you saw a tour bus on the square?
Actually, it's funny you say that. It was about a month ago.
Not very often.
But not very often.
But we used to have them come in here every day, all the time, and they would let them out. I mean, why is that anymore? I mean, why don't we have that? I mean, we're a destination spot going to the casinos.
Right.
And they used to pull in there for have lunch and shop and so forth on their way to Durant or to Choctaw or whatever it is.
Right.
And that's the kind of thinking that we need to do. We need to take these tax dollars that these private investments can generate for us, that they can pull people from outside of the city of McKinney, and we get a piece of their dollars. Because for years we've been sending hours to Frisco, we've been sending it to Allen and Plano, Collin Creek Mall, and now the village of Allen and the village of Fairview.
Right.
We need the village of McKinney.
We do, to keep them
and
there.
And that's what we need to be focused on.
So finally, and here's the most difficult question of the entire interview. Tell us something about Steve Bell that no one else knows.
Oh my goodness. I'm pretty much an open book. I'm trying to think of what I mean. Well, they don't know that I go to Germany every year and teach German teenagers how to play baseball.
You're right.
I do camps over there. I've got my 6th one coming up this year. We take about 30 people from McKinney. If you go on my Facebook page, you're going to find these pictures of all these German teenagers and all this German writing where they send me all their updates and that type of thing.
And how did you get into that?
I got involved in it with a friend of mine, Rob Boucher, who's the family life minister at my church at First Baptist. And we partnered with a church down in Houston, Woodlands Baptist, and went over there and did an exploratory deal. They invited us to participate in the camps, and I'm an old baseball player anyway. There's an old World Series ring, that type of thing. So, and you can see the bats over there on my wall, but
yes.
I just enjoy doing that. And the thing that I like, I've been on a lot of mission trips in the jungles and in South America and that type of thing. But the deal in Germany is that the people are just like we are. They have the same concerns. They're worried about their family, their job, their housing, the economic conditions. And what is so unique about this is that when we meet these kids and that we share our faith with them and we get them plugged into a church, and I get to come back year after year,
right,
and I get to see their growth. I've got a couple that's getting married now that were my original interpreters who are now in college and that type of thing. I've had German kids come over and spend up to 3 weeks with me, and it's just been a real blessing for me. And I enjoy that. I love seeing people succeed and lives being changed.
That's terrific. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time. We've learned a lot, I think, together, and I look forward to hearing more as your campaign progresses, and good luck.
I just want to say one other thing.
Okay.
I have 5 guys in my race, including myself. They're all good people. They all have a quality that they can bring, and McKinney could be proud of them. My difference is my experience, and that the commitment I want to make to them and to the citizens is that I'm not running against these guys. That's just not my nature. I'm running for the citizens, and what I think that I can do through the influence and the sphere of influence that I have to grow on what I started back in the late 90s on council, and use those building stones so that we can be the #1 city in the nation to live.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that concludes this segment of Town Talk. Thanks for joining us. I hope that you'll visit townsquarebuzz.com and make some comments about our discussion. We'd love to hear what you think.